we go.
Farm Companion.
We'll take it. We'll take it. No, we'll take it. We don't need to restart.
All right.
People know. They're like, wait.
I was in the mode.
Wait.
I was in the mode. I knew it too. You prefaced me and everything, but normally it's the other way around.
I think it's
Farm Companion. It was
time.
the emphasis.
It was time.
All that. So
we're out. We're pretty much out of the hunt at this point.
yeah, I'd say I'm done hunting.
We're into the farm.
Mm-hmm. If I was gonna hunt one more time, I guess it would be this weekend, and it hasn't really crossed.
Well, I mean,
my mind,
GRA
so.
drop.
Well, if I was gonna go shoot a doe or something, probably, but yeah, GRH shut out, and I mean, he was it. That was the only one I would have shot there. So I think Dagger's on the ground too. There's a couple more I rattled off on the last Hunt Companion, who's still holding. But and since then I recalled there's still a really nice 3-year-old the dad and I saw.
Is that the 10?
Came between the pinch there. He is a 10. Got a kicker on it too. So it's gonna be a fun shed. I'd call it a season, but I mean I know where those deer are at. They're all like in a in a block. So I think we'll find them.
I don't think we've talked about it yet, but our 6.5-year-old 10-point showed up in Illinois out of nowhere.
I know.
Thin freaking air.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him since like November 3rd or 4th.
Was that what it was?
When he was heading west off of the new property.
I remember the picture. It was November though?
Yep. And then never came back.
Just followed a doe and boy.
I looked
can
at
only
that
imagine
deer.
what he found.
I saw that
Must have been
picture
pretty
when
good.
you sent it and I'm like, which deer
I had
is that?
I had to get a side by
Yeah,
side to
I was
confirm.
like, which deer that? And then as soon as you said, hey, look, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that is him. Crazy, man. And it is funny. I think I mentioned a couple Hunt Companions ago. I had a 3 or 4-year-old buck that I knew really well in my Kentucky place. Haven't seen him since like October 2nd or 3rd. And he showed up with half off, half on. Yeah. And then when we were coming back from Archery and Bow Hunting Super Show, that wide 3-year-old was split 2s, which I haven't seen. I only have 5 pictures of a deer all year. Haven't seen him since September 15th. And like, there he is at the feeder. What? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, to finish the thought on that 10-point, I'm excited about him.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what his antlers look like, he'll be a 7.5-year-old Illinois buck. That dude will be a hammer.
He's a tank. He was, I mean...
We thought he was 50?
Yeah. Maybe 150 last year, but big body. Boy, it's
the most history we have with a deer on that property.
It probably is. And he obviously rutted pretty hard. He looks fairly run down. Big gash on his butt cheek there. Yeah, he was getting into it.
Pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see, like, again, surprised maybe that he's alive and he just hasn't been around, but why he comes back? Food. Lots of food still on our properties.
Well, he's with a doe. You see that? He's with a fawn.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen that a lot here recently.
Well, he hasn't been back on the main farm. He's been back on the 80. And the 80's just got a little bit of standing corn is all that's there. I did just text Jackie to see if we can get that mowed today.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's kind of wild how these deer... I haven't really seen, and I guess I'm not surprised. I've had a lot of conversations here on the Kentucky stuff just because it's been a point of focus on a lot of these hunt companions and now farm companion. Of just trying to narrow it down. It was cool. I connected with a guy who listens to podcasts, but he's in a county right over from me, but he grew up hunting the area. And what's really interesting is he was like, dude, back in the like mid 90s and early 2000s even, he's like, there were so many deer and so many hunters in this area. It was unbelievable. And, it comes down to a couple factors that we were trying to narrow in, like what happened.
Who was this?
It's just a guy who listened to the podcast and connected with me because he's like, he knows where my farms are at in Illinois or in Ohio, Kentucky and stuff. Okay. And so he grew up hunting in that area. And he said a couple things. One, and from a habitat side is they used to do a lot of cutting even in the national forest. Like they would set out a map of where they did their big cuts. He's like, I used to grouse hunt it. Like it was that good. And now it's like mature timber, no cutting. And I don't know if that's like a federal thing that they're not cutting or if it's preserved. Like, I don't know. But like, we don't see any cutting on the national forest anymore in that area.
I mean, for sure, that could be a night and day difference.
Huge factor.
Yeah. If you don't cut timber, you don't have, wildlife
huge
habitat
factor
in these big timber areas.
Yep. Number 2 would be something around fawn recruitment whether that's predators, whether it's in tandem with the habitat type of thing.
Got some bears down there, right?
Got a lot more bears than I bet they did the bear thing is fairly recent down there, and obviously coyote populations have blown up, bobcat populations have blown up. So very possible. And then the last thing, and it's been really spotty, and you know, I'll say with a preface, and maybe somebody from Kentucky Department of Wildlife and Fisheries can correct me, but shame on them on the transparency around EHD. You know, like even Clinton, Ohio laid out a map of like, here's the counties, here's where it's been for the last 7 years. Dude, I was pulling teeth to find where the reports were year over year and stuff. Couldn't find shit. I know for sure the area got smoked in 17. Pretty sure it got hit again in 19, 20, 21, 22, not in 23 or 24, but then 25. And I'm like, a deer herd can't...
Based on what?
Based on just Googling reports of like where they were reporting. And that's what I'm saying. It's not at the state level. It's like this news release said this or this forum said this. And so, you know, there could have been a period between 2017 and 2022 that essentially 5 out of 6 years it got hit with EHD.
Yeah.
How the hell you come back from that?
Any information about how hard they got hit or
17 was a nasty one. Like sounds like 17 was like what we're seeing in like Southeast Ohio this year. But then again, like everything else, I can't.
Which is
there's like no good information.
You know, what is that? 8 years ago.
Yep. But if you then had it in 19, 20, and 21 and 22, like even at a small level, like that's hard for a herd to bounce back from over time.
Sure.
Which is why, like, you know, in not to go the CWD EHD route, but, you know, there is people are quick to blow off the EHD thing, but it's like if you get hit with EHD 3 out of 4 years, 3 out of 5 years, like it's devastating the herd. I don't know. I do absolutely believe there are areas that can't bounce back from that because of the reproduction is being throttled too, whether that's predators, whether that's ag stuff that we talked about before. So I don't know, man. It's like I said, I feel like I'm making progress. It's slower than I would have expected. A guy just wrote me because I posted this thing about Kentucky now wanting to do 5 depredation tags for landowners to kill does, and they'll earn a second buck tag. That's going to the state representative for voting. And he's like, dude, I haven't killed a doe in 10 plus years in this county, and there's still no does in the county. County that's harvested 30 does or less for 10 years total, and there's still no does in the county.
Doesn't seem like that would be fairly easy to do at a county level. Say, hey, this county needs it and this county doesn't.
I would think
so. Because on one hand, whether that's the exact answer or not, you know, you should be very protective of buck tags, just period. But I mean, 5 does is a high bar, and if
that's a lot of does. That's really starting to treat them as a pest.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I'm for the incentive is, you know, if that's what you need in certain counties is to kill does, and but you know, we know that, you know, guys are in some cases willing to do what it takes to get a second buck. If that's what it takes, then
yeah, and I think they would.
I'm not like at its core opposed to that. I mean, that's an extreme version of earn a buck, yeah,
extreme earn a buck.
But obviously, where you're at, it just doesn't sound like there is much of a doe population that calls for something like that. So
no, not at all. Like, yeah, we don't have a deer population. Like, it's low. I mean, we've been working for a decade to build it back, and it's just not built back still. I mean, that county is the lowest harvest in the entire state of Kentucky per the map I saw on December 31st. Yeah. And so, and it's weird because, like, can
you see the harvest stats prior to like 2017 and some of these CHD stuff? Was it much better?
At some point, it was into like right now it's in the low 200s. At one point, it was in the 400s and stuff. Okay. You know, which is about the average around us. I would say is 400 to 500 esque. You know, type deer. And if you get into Southeast, like it's, you know, there's some 600, there's some 800s in those. And those are all areas also that are in this zone 4 that you can't harvest does with during modern gun season. So, I mean, it's a same regulations for an apples to apples comparison. But yeah, dude, it's just funny. If you look at that county and like I look at some of the terrain I was elk hunting and stuff even was like, it was nasty hills and mountains. It's no different than what I'm in to a point, but like they're killing 2 or 3 times the deer there than we are in this county. And I assume it's not because they're like abusing the resource. It's just like the deer are there for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, habitat may be a part of that. I mean, dude, a 30-acre clear cut is no joke. I mean, that can sustain a lot of deer.
That's what I would assume that we're starting to tie into. I do think there's some sort of predator recruitment issue there, whether it's because more bears are around and coyotes and people aren't trapping and whatnot. But I think that paired with just like, tens of thousands of acres of national forest that is having no cutting activity is probably a giant piece of it.
Are you going to do any logging on that farm?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, problem is it's not good timber. So like it's literally like I would have to probably pay a crew to come in and clear cut some stuff.
That bad? Like there's just.
I mean, maybe it pays for itself if I'm lucky.
Yeah, right.
Which is fine if that's the way.
Well, what do you
works.
have down there? What kind of trees do you have?
I mean, on the main farm, not great. That's tulip poplar is a marketable tree.
Had it been cut?
Yeah, I think they cut it in like 18 years ago and like
cut it hard.
Yeah, like 14-inch DBH on everything. And took most of the oaks.
Yeah.
I have some walnuts. I have some oaks on some of the ridges and stuff. Most of the big timber bottom is just trash trees. I have a lot of hemlock down in there too. So yeah, there's just not a lot on that farm. My other farm is decent. I've got decent white oak and red oak on that. But it still needs a few years, 5 or 10.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I think for the time being, in terms of a farm companion, is like I'm going to start doing these little quarter-acre micro burns and then just basically clear cutting those quarter acres myself.
I guess that's kind of why I ask. I'm like, yeah, can you, not necessarily a clear cut, but logging activity is a good excuse to,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get some of that going for yourself. But that's what we talked about on the last Hunt Companion.
If I get the
if you can do
dollars,
your micro burns,
that would be a way to do it, but it's probably not going to happen for this year. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the nice thing is like I said, I've talked about it before. The 2 neighbors that own 300 acres each around me are like the best deer hunting we've ever seen. So like I'm taking it in a positive direction. I might not be satisfied with where it's at, or I might feel it's slow developing. But these guys, one guy's lived here his entire life. He's 75 years old, and he's like, yeah, it's the best deer hunting I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So like it's going in the right direction. And there's a ton of low-hanging fruit, mainly around the timber stand improvement to happen.
Have you done any chainsaw work yet?
None.
Oh, dude.
None.
I bet that'll do wonders for that farm.
I think so. So just need to thicken it up. And
do you have the areas kind of picked out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got them marked.
Pretty sizable chunks, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you get down in that bottom, like the entire east side, essentially, call it the east half, is 150 plus acres of timber.
Okay. Just
a giant big timber bottom. And then you've got about 50 acres that runs to the west of that. That's all my open field and food. Mm-hmm. And then you've got essentially another 75 acres that runs west of that. That's more timber and stuff on that side. Mm-hmm. So like, my plan originally was the preface of doing a lot more work on the western timber because if I'm hunting those fields and stuff, I want deer on the west coming in that way versus deer from the east coming in behind me.
Right.
But I think there'll be some situations. I've got a few access points from the east to hunt into that bottom, or just the way that lays for them coming up into the food that I can kind of catch them and still be safe on a wind and access standpoint. So, So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of baby steps. Like I said, way better than it was. Fortunately, it seems like every week for the last 3 weeks, I'm finding a new buck that, not a new buck, but a buck that left that came back. Mm-hmm. So that's giving me a lot of hope for what next year looks like from at least a 4-year-old standpoint at this point. But there were several 4-year-olds last year that I thought would make it this year, and they didn't. So,
even from the end of season to this year.
Yeah, mostly from the summer, though. I assume they got shot in season somewhere.
Okay.
I think if they make it through, odds of me seeing them in the summer are pretty strong.
Okay.
I lost a 4-year-old this year that would be 5 next year. I still don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared before season. I think he may have been an EHD casualty. Could have got poached too. I don't know.
You wonder. There's just there's no way to know. Unless they die on your property and you walk it.
And I'm surprised at the year. And I've built a better now that I've kind of opened up, we had this conversation. Somebody asked the question. I thought it was a great question at the Archery and Bow Hunting Super Show of like sharing pictures and stuff with your neighbors. And, you know, I've been both ends. I've been very secretive, and I've also now tried to be more open, you know, as much with the camera pictures as it is like harvest pictures, you know, mainly because I just want to know if X knows this one died. So like I know of 3 bucks that 2 of the bucks I had on my property. The third one doesn't sound like it did, but died within, you know, a few hundred acres of me that I had on camera throughout the year. One of them wasn't worried about. The other one was a superstar 3-year-old, and he got smacked about half mile from my property. And the 75-year-old guy killed a what sounds like it was a mainframe 9 with splits on its 3s and like a big flyer out the back.
Not one that you knew.
And he killed that within a few hundred yards of my property line.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Like,
you felt pretty confident about your camera strategy?
No. No. I mean, yes and no. I mean, these deer are just covering so much ground.
I mean, how many cameras are you running on?
5 or 6.
On what, 250 acres?
275.
Yeah.
Mostly on the food.
You probably want to bump that up, like just covering food sources?
Mostly.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's just weird how it lays,
You got some, like, I mean, you know, like 5 or 6 cameras. I'd imagine, knowing you, 2 or 3 are dead at any given time.
Yeah.
So you got 1 or 2 running on?
No, I probably have 4 or 5.
You got some on scrapes?
Yep, and I'm getting the same deer. I've got a few SD card cameras too.
Way to get down there, dude.
So the weird thing,
you're definitely missing some.
Oh yeah, the cool thing about it is like, and we did a big like walk down there with the family and stuff when we were trapping the other couple weeks ago. Is like, there's literally ingress egress points.
Okay. Because
there's no other way for them to get off the property. It's cliff line.
Okay.
So it's like cliff, ingress egress, cliff. So it's like you put a camera there, every deer in that area is coming through that gap, right? And there's several of those that I've found here recently that I need to have like basically 24/7, 365 has to have a camera on it. You know, just even from like a predator standpoint or trespassing, like that's if I'm trespassing, that's where I'm coming through at.
Sure.
The biggest downfall this year that I missed out on, and you know, critical information, who knows, but that entire 150 acre bottom, I didn't have a single camera running in there.
Yeah.
I have one on an ingress egress point into it from the east, and that was honestly a pretty poor performer this year. Normally it's a good camera, but was not this year.
I feel like you are learning, like that you know the property pretty well at this point. Like,
yeah, the hardest part is that because there hasn't been a lot of timber stand improvement, this deer can bed anywhere.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple spots where I'm like, I know they're bedding right now just because of just natural like clearings or knob points and things like that. Like, and I've found big buck beds and stuff on those. But from a like, hey, this is a thick bedding area, doesn't exist right now. So like, I know in the summertime, they're all laying, and I've jumped them numerous times in the summer, they're all laying down by the creek under hemlocks because it's cool. Water flowing through, it's cool. It's almost impossible to get in on them because of the way the scent bowl is just going to go with the thermals and stuff. And then I think, you know, as the season progresses, yeah, I could nail down a couple areas where I'm like, I think a buck lives here or a buck's bedding here. I knew where there's a 6-year-old buck, Madison, and I saw him fly in a drone. I'm like, he's bedding over here, and we found him. But missed him the first time and then found him the second flight through.
Sounds like you need to drop some serious trees.
Lots of
That's
them.
what I'm hearing.
Well, and the other thing is we talked about, I mean, I'm talking 18 plus inches of like leaf litter.
Wow, that is a lot.
But if you go into the woods, because it's low density, there's some really good blackberry, black raspberry, blackberry, like green briar, like it holds the gnarliness under it.
Okay.
It just needs that layer gone and that canopy open.
Well, just be careful on the burning. I mean, start small and see how it's going to burn. I mean, that's a lot of leaf litter.
Emily bought me like the highest powered steel backpack blower. Yep. So whatever it is, a 550 or something.
You need more than you think. More than you think. I mean, I'd get like a boy.
Big ring.
I get
Big ring. Yeah.
I wouldn't go any less than like 15 feet at a minimum.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, I'm
at
gonna
least to start. Until
yeah,
you
start small
what it's gonna
and
do
just understand what it's gonna do. And
I just haven't done enough timber. I'm not.
Fire's
familiar enough to
intimidating
tell
for a
you.
lot of people. It is for me too.
It's just freaking dangerous. Dude.
I'll never
kills people.
Yeah, I'll just never. If I don't do it, I won't do it.
Yeah. Do it smart.
Yeah.
To start. Yeah, and then build up on it.
Yeah, there's some foolproof to a point areas where I'm like, even if it jumps somehow, like it'll end at the field. Like there's nowhere for it to go. It'll hit my field, and it's
those are great.
nothing.
Those are great areas.
Yeah. So like those are the ones I've got a couple like little peninsulas that come out. Like there's nowhere for it to go. It'll work up if I'm back burning, and it'll work up this way, and then there's nowhere for it to go. Cool. So yeah. So I think that's a big part of this off season. And part of that, not that I'm going to neglect it. Like I'll still frost seed and do some stuff down there, but I would say 90% chance that my Ohio farm goes on market this summer.
This summer?
I think so.
Okay.
The hardest part is like the best 4-year-old that I've been carrying through since I've owned it will be 5, and he'll be a booner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's a lot of time and effort and money to get that deer to that point, and there'll be another one that's probably mid-50s as a 5-year-old too. But at the same time, I hunted it 2 times, like one trip 2 times, and that was it this year. And it was just, wasn't necessarily because of lack of deer. Like I had a shooter down there all year. In fact, he shed out right before Christmas. 3 hours, and I'm dividing already between Kentucky, and then when we have a chance, Illinois. I just don't have time. And, so I think we're going to finish out the cabin. We've got some flooring and stuff to lay, so the cabin looks really nice. And we'll probably turkey hunt it and stuff this spring. And then I would assume sometime in the summer I float it out there for sale. And if I don't get any interest, all right, then I'll hunt it, and then put it back on market the next year or something. But I'm not going to be overly aggressive on the price. It'll probably be $3,700 an acre or so, which Escalma's yelling at me that it should be more. But
are you going to try to get that to align with something closer to home here, you thinking? Or
yeah, I think I'm at 1031 it into a PA farm. That's my plan, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at it. I'd love to stay in Ohio, but I'm not going to pay $8,000 or $9,000 an acre in Ohio. Just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I think
I don't blame you.
And still to drive like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll 1031 it into something back here that I have closer to home and that we can actually do more stuff on. And I've kind of started already to just like mark farms. I'm just going to call people and be like, hey,
pretty soon
you'll
be able to get out there and start gun hunting a week earlier now in PA.
Fudge my life, dude. Just as I say,
you got that to look forward
every
to.
freaking time I tell people, I'm like, listen, here's the thing. Maybe not directly, maybe not for purpose, but like Pennsylvania is one of the few states that I'm like, it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Game Commission comes out and says, yeah, we're going to push gun season a week more into November. I'm like, no. Now you just ruined it all.
Yeah.
Now you just ruined it.
Yeah. Come to expect it, I guess, at this point.
I'll fight that one. But yeah, so that's the plan.
Cool.
Did the light burn out or did we turn it out?
I'll probably turn it off. Here,
okay. I just wanted to get my good side. There it is.
That's better.
That's better. I was like, is it dark in here? And so yeah, that's the plan, is to flip it into something back here, something within 35 minutes of home-ish type of thing. And yeah, be able to be a little bit more fine-tooth micro managing on it and habitat and the things that I can't get done at some of these other properties because I just don't have time. And then comes the fine line of like, well, if you don't have time, should you just hire somebody to do it? And part of me is there because it's like, will it ever get done if I just always hold it close to my chest? Maybe, maybe not. That's where the equip stuff could be a big factor for additional funds to pay someone.
Yeah, I'm not sure I fully turned the page on like at a certain point. I'm full on game plan, like in my mind trying to build, get a layout, for what the farm project's going to look like and stuff. And I haven't got there yet. Maybe it's fine. I don't know when that happens exactly every year. I mean, in Ohio anyways, Yeah, every farm's got the different benchmarks that we're at here and stuff. But like in Ohio, anyways, most of my clover plots I think are fairly established, and so I don't have the pressure of like early planting. Like like you, I'm gonna try to lean into some more of this timber stuff early on. There's parts of the farm and projects at least that I think I can I kind of want to focus on. So, but I don't know if we've told anybody yet, but we partnered with Genesis Drills this year, right? So we can say that now.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned it maybe a few times, but that's official.
So we've got a couple drills coming this year, and so I'm and frankly, that's taking some stress off of me in terms of like ease of planting, especially our grain plots and like later in the year. So I don't know if I'll use it for everything. Like I'm getting one of the bigger ones. I'm getting an 8-footer.
It's beast.
So I don't know necessarily that I'll use that for clover and stuff and like little 1/8 and 1/4 acre plots because those are so easy to frost seed and stuff. But so I'm super excited about that partnership and also those drills. We got the rundown with Justin the other day.
Awesome.
And, saw how everything works and it's like, man, it's a serious machine. So we're excited about that. We can go more details about if we have promo code with them at some point.
We're going to figure out something. We talked about maybe doing like, this is a 10th anniversary. So maybe doing like a HUNTR edition type thing for 10th anniversary, just like special type opportunity.
Cool.
So I'm sure there'll be something there with Justin and those guys, but super excited about that. Those guys are continuing to innovate a lot.
I see that.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like just continue to find things and refine them. I mean, we had that full breakdown and I don't know, I guess maybe after seeing like a Great Plains and stuff like that, I'm like these drills could be intimidating. And like, it was super simple. I'm like, oh, adjust here, adjust here, adjust here. That's it. Done deal.
Yep. Well, for what we need, they're the perfect size. And I mean, so I've got a bit of confidence they're going to do exactly what we need to. In fact, so I'm going to do probably corn and beans with those this year. And then, I mean, dude, all of it. You know what I mean? It's a no-till. So, and honestly, probably way more than I ever have screening this year. So whether that's new switchgrass or I'm definitely going to have some annual screens this year, like long ones in areas that I feel like we've struggled with access and stuff in the past. So that's a drop it and roll it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's kind of the thought process is like, at least for me right now, I'm using like the freshness of the season to understand like where the gap falls are. And, typically what it comes down to with having farms in multiple states is like you half-ass all of them, not in a bad way. It's just time-wise, right? And so, beyond our Illinois farm, I think I'm just going to really embrace the Kentucky stuff and not neglect. But I mean, really, Ohio had timber harvest done 3 years ago. I've got food plots established. I just need to keep working on those clover plots and stuff. And like, dude, that farm's set. I don't need to do anything else to the Ohio farm really, because of the timber harvest. Really, is what it comes down to. It's like it's going to be in year 3 of timber harvest, post timber harvest. It's going to be amazing habitat. So it's just make sure the food's there, and that'll be good. So I'm going to kind of just let it take care of itself, and really spend more time focused on Kentucky and micro burns and some timber cuts on both tracts of land I have. I think we've talked about before, but I bought my neighbor at the cabin down there too. So I've got about 185 acres on that side as well in the mountain. So that's going to need work because there are very little open fields. I do have 2. One of them is almost 2 acres, which will be really nice to establish something. Probably just a giant clover plot or something in year 1 just to like see what happens.
Dude, the cool thing about PA is like, it just seems like nobody's doing anything.
They're not.
It just seems like you could go in and so easily, just like with a little bit of work, have the best farm in most neighborhoods. I
mean, not to hot spot our area, but like I know 6 bucks that were over 170 inches killed within 10 miles of my house, give or take.
Yeah.
And I know a couple big ones that made it through. I've got 28 acres and I have at least one 5-year-old plus on it during hunting season every year. And I've got a food plot that's 3/4 to an acre of ground. So I mean, if you could find the right farm and you could, have food and you could set it up correctly, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, the number of 4 or 5-year-old bucks that are being produced in Pennsylvania has gone up dramatically in the last even 5 years, let alone 20 years. So I think that it's not a sleeper state because there is still a ton of hunting pressure, but the pressure is more balanced than it's ever been because we have a lower number of hunters. We still have an amazing amount of public land. In fact, a lot of the stuff I hunt here is public land on the mountain. Mm-hmm. But my goal there is to essentially back up to some of these public land pieces and have enough timber and stuff that I can sustain deer, but also enough food that I can just suck stuff in.
I was on a property yesterday, listing appointment. Guy's got he's got 120 something acres that abuts up to 10,000 acres of public land, and he's got nice big open areas that aren't being farmed. And we were talking about. He's like, well, I don't know if I want to have it farmed. Or they've only been there for maybe they're in their second year, and I was like, I mean, dude, here's what I would do. He's got a perfect little cove that butts up here. It's like he could section off, a few acres with screening and greens and stuff, and then have a farmer get the rest of it. There's like 20 to 30 acres still of tillable out front. I'm like, you just work a deal, have them leave you a couple acres of grain. Like,
nobody's doing that.
At some point in the year, you're gonna suck all these deer off this 10,000 acres. Like, what else are they eating other than what's in the woods?
It's the craziest thing. Pennsylvania has an extremely deep deer hunting tradition, yet from like a deer management side, it's completely neglected.
Very
right?
Little.
It's because for most of our lives, we killed 1.5-year-old bucks. Like 95% of the bucks were killed and were 1.5 years old. And then, antler point restrictions are the only thing that's really just getting them into older age classes. We're just coming into an era where more people are passing 2- and 3-year-old bucks to try to kill a 4-year-old buck. But, even us, like obviously we're the epitome of like the deer hunting land guy. And we sell real estate in Western Pennsylvania, and very few people call me ever to buy deer hunting land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, they don't care. And that's where the weird value is. And maybe there's some things, again, I don't think it's on purpose. I think it's indirectly, but kudos to the Game Commission. Maybe there's some things they're doing that hasn't generated the weird demand for land that we've seen in some of these Midwestern states and stuff like that. Maybe it's just the amount of public land that's available that actually is pretty decent hunting. And, and what I think balances that, not to go down the rabbit hole, is like, if I go to Ohio and like Wayne National Forest, which is giant swath of public land, the reason that is weaker than the surrounding ground is because of corn piles. Like the corn piles on private land are sucking deer off of public land. Those don't exist in Pennsylvania. So when I hunt my 28 acres here, or a guy is literally up the mountain a quarter mile on public, like we're hunting the same deer and fairly same territory. Like there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do with my property. It's a mountainside.
Yeah. So
it's a very much more level playing field. I won't say it's perfectly level, but a much more level playing field.
Yeah.
To see, I mean, look at like Bo and Johnny and these guys. They're going up to A&F and that's where they're killing their bucks. It's not on private land. Mm-hmm. It's on public land, big public land.
Yeah.
So this state has everything that it needs. And if you have enough of a piece of ground and you do the right management, I 100% believe you could be killing the same quality deer here as you are in Ohio and some of these other states.
Just for whatever reason, I mean, there definitely are guys that are. I mean, I know plenty of people in PA with food plots. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, just as a general term. But like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because you and I have been so heavily influenced by guys who own farms in the Midwest and stuff that just they do it big. You know what I mean? It's like and you go all and it's a very intentional about managing for deer at a large scale. And I just don't see that happening here very much.
I think most of it would be. They plan a food plot for attraction and not for nutrition. Mm-hmm. I would say very few, and it could be also because of our season in terms of main archery season ends, rifle season comes in, and then really it's like kind of dog shit seasons after that. Mm-hmm. But like I never see anybody leaving up grain.
I mean, dude, that to me is the ticket in southwestern PA is standing grain.
Nobody leaves it up.
And
part of that is because like bow season ends, whatever, ballpark 15th of November, a little bit of a gap till Thanksgiving. 2 weeks of gun season goes into the middle of December, and then really nothing until the day after Christmas, which for the longest part, I mean, besides me going out with a flintlock, like late season in Pennsylvania was dog shit.
How late does it go?
Till Saturday. So whatever that is.
Mid-January, mid to end of January?
Yep, mid-January.
Yeah, that's plenty late.
So, I mean, you could absolutely maximize it with standing grain. It's just it's kind of funny. I feel like Pennsylvania is almost like 10 or 15 years behind on the land side of things. Like there's some leasing happening, but not a ton.
We're just not in a big agricultural area. Like there are places like Western Washington County, Butler County, Greene County for sure, that has agriculture, but it's just not nearly to the scale that when you get into some parts of Ohio and further towards the Midwest. So I don't know if that just has like that part of it, like the grain farming hasn't translated into our deer management here.
But even if you go out towards like Lancaster and stuff, like giant farms.
Sure, out east.
The highest premium
Tons
soil.
of farming out there, yeah.
But I don't think many of them are leaving anything.
We live in a weird part of the state.
We do. I'm in the mountains, and you're like not in the mountains.
Me, even more so than you. I mean, you're just on the southern end of it here, but like just the Pittsburgh and the surrounding area, it's just like it's very industrial. It's very coal. Old coal. It's like based on all the towns.
Look at the size of the parcels between where you are and where Pittsburgh is.
Based around the rivers and stuff like that. Well, and dude,
not many.
there's some decent sized parcels. I mean, there's 50s. A couple, but it's like, and we have more like, I mean, I wouldn't call it rolling, but like we don't have the topography here. Well, you do on the mountain, but just generally speaking, like we're not West Virginia.
No.
Kind of stuff either. So there's opportunity for agriculture, like maybe on a smaller scale, but I don't know, dude, that I'm with you kind of in that endeavor. I mean, obviously we live here. Our business is going to keep us here for some period of time. Probably in different areas. I don't know. Maybe it's like when we find the right one.
Far, but not far. Like, I mean, dude, it could literally be 15 miles apart from each other, but very different looking places. And just the way that our road network is, it'll take me 45 minutes to go 20 miles.
Yeah.
As a crow flies, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think so we'll see. I mean, my dad's kind of like, he's like, you sure you want to put it on? Like, we should have a good deer hunting year next year. And I'm like, yeah. So we'll see. But I probably will put it out. And if I sell it this summer or this fall, then I will try to roll into something here in PA. And yeah. And then, at some point, if I want to sell something else and go back to Ohio, I can. But
do you want to maybe just like speak openly about discussions around the dads in Kansas, Illinois thing? Is that,
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
More so just like for feelers, like,
Sure.
I know some people know kind of ballpark where we're at, like, because you and I were like struggling with
the exact same thing we were just talking about. Like, I'm stretched when the season comes.
Well, yeah, and just we're struggling with like the Kansas thing and taking the dads back, and then I think also just because it's like not a small thing to coordinate all of their time off and to be able to get them set up on good farms, on good deer, and to still be able to do our own thing and have fun. Like it's a challenge, to do that. And on the other side, we're looking at like, man, we just put a considerable amount of money into our house in Illinois, fixing that up for us and for resale someday. And
we bought another farm there. So we've got 230-ish acres, give or take.
Yep. And I think we're both feeling like it's not enough to sustain probably more than you or I, especially with 2 tags. So we're like, well, we can't just bring the dads and cut them loose. We don't have that kind of
not if we want to, continue to improve just the overall buck quality and age structure.
Which I do.
Yeah.
And I think you do too. But we're like, man, it seems kind of wasteful maybe to not make use of that house there.
Seems crazy not to.
It's closer.
4 hours plus closer.
And
we're going to be there doing things throughout the year anyways.
That's right. And so it would lighten the burden in Kansas. So the thought process being like, okay, what if we take the dads to Illinois instead of Kansas? So our Kansas trip looks like freaking
whenever we can get out, we time it.
We just go. We go hard.
When the time's right.
We do what we got to do. There's no baggage, so to speak.
Yep.
In Illinois, we can maximize, the properties that we own and the house that we've put this money into.
With, I think, a better experience for the dads. No knock to what we've done in Kansas in the past. I think they love the adventure. But if it's our camp and there's our properties and, per this, like lease or whatever additionally, but we have a base camp and it's ours and like we've been working on the area. We've been in the area. That's going to be a way better experience, I think, in the long run.
Probably more comfortable for them, too, like, if I'm being honest.
Frankly, more comfortable for me.
Yeah, just
selfishly, like, it's ours. Like I said, if we're going to spend time somewhere, like, I want to, it would be dumb not to just be there more.
So that said, the stipulation is we need more access in Illinois.
Yeah, not a lot. I'd say like a 160. ish to 200 would be good. That's my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a number in mind necessarily, but yeah, I think it's what we need to find. Whether it's a lease or somehow we figure out how to afford another farm, or talk Dad into rolling some Ohio stuff into Illinois, would be kind of a thing.
Selfishly, that would be the easiest.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to sell one to roll, but
sure.
Yeah.
So that's the thought process. I put it out maybe to our listeners, just I know some people know where we're
Investors,
possibly you. But so I would say we're looking for something in Illinois in that capacity, whether it's a lease or. It
just, again, at the end of the day, we're going to be in Illinois managing and doing things anyways throughout the year. We did put more money into the house. We just bought the other farm, which is, fine. We'll use it. But just from a comfortability standpoint, from a time to get out there, from a time we're spending out there for running cameras, pinpointing deer, hanging stands, whatever, putting blinds up, it makes more sense to double down our time and effort there than segment it and half-ass it somewhere else.
I agree. I think it's going to benefit both sides. It'll make Illinois more fun. It'll double our access, coincidentally, and then everything you just mentioned. And it'll make Illinois or Kansas
it's just loosey-goosey at that point. If we draw and we want to go out, we just look at the weather and figure it out with our internal families, and we just go, versus planning it out 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
So
is your dad retiring in the next year or two?
He's going semi-retired in February, so next month.
Okay.
He'll be 67, and then I think...
What's that mean, semi?
I think it'll be... at some point, he's going to go casual, which means I think he just has to work 2 days a week or something.
Okay.
But I think he's going to try to work 3 or 4. So I think he's going to do either a Monday to Thursday or Tuesday to Thursday, and then he'll take Monday and Friday off with the weekend. So just because he can stack a lot more money into his retirement and stuff.
You think his flexibility will increase with that?
Yes.
Yeah, he can stack more days, kind of a thing.
Yep.
That'd be cool. It'd be nice to have that flexibility. He's not in a negative way, but we've had to build the schedule kind of around his having to take off.
He's the one who's got to report to work.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be more flexibility there, and
cool.
And even for hey, let's leave on Thursday and we'll come back on Monday or Tuesday.
It's doable.
Yeah, it's doable. Kansas is not.
No.
I mean, we didn't even do a scouting mission out there this year. We just went and hunted.
Too far.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense. And again, playing to the whole thing, whether it all happens this year or not, it's that's one move. Potentially me selling Ohio and flipping into Pennsylvania, being closer is another. Focus efforts in Kentucky. Those things right there, double the time in Illinois, especially around hunting season, because we don't have a Kansas trip with the dads necessarily. More time focused in Kentucky from a habitat side and therefore probably from a hunting side. No Ohio, have something in my backyard or damn close that I can start to work on in PA. My life in terms of efficiency to hunt that becomes way, way better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a smart move.
So the problem is if I start seeing that buck showing up and he's going to be over 170, I'm going to be twitching a bit, but we'll see. It's a good sell point. Yeah. Anybody wants to kill Booner in Southern Ohio?
Yeah,
I got one
for sure. Mine's more of a primary residence thing. I think
which is cool, man.
Well,
you have the flexibility without kids to go out the school district, which is where I would too, in a heartbeat. Even though I love where I live and I've got a banging 28 acres, if I could if I could flip and basically build next to whatever I own, no brainer. It's just my school district is tight.
I mean, do pros and cons, I'm going to have a tougher time finding a property probably that can support the quality and number of deer that you might be able to. I think maybe just
because you're going to be building a house on it.
No, just location. Just location. It's we've got to be fairly close to the city and to our our business there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so
just limit it. I mean, as you get closer to Pittsburgh, 50 acres goes from
the value of property.
Yeah, $180,000 to $400,000.
Right. So
yeah, that's a big one.
So that's kind of the consideration there. So. Yeah, I mean anywhere else further in like a more remote area, I'd be looking for couple hundred acres.
Hundreds.
Because man, if we're gonna have it close, we can really put the screws on it. But I can't afford hundreds of acres. It probably doesn't even exist. Close to in the area that we're looking at. So the trick is I'm looking for a pocket. That's like, I don't know, adjacent to something non-hunting, adjacent to a network of, I don't know, communities, residences, or something where it's like I just need.
I won't spotlight any of these guys, but we talk a lot about finding something close to something that's not being hunted.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had several conversations at Archery and Bow Hunting Super Show where guys were killing good deer consistently in high pressure states like Michigan and Indiana. Yeah. And they all tied back to a property that wasn't being hunted close by, not even adjacent, just like close by.
For sure.
And I'm like, they exist, man. They're out there. Like, you just have to kind of not stumble. You just have to do your research. You really have to look at it. I mean, I won't spotlight it, but I've got one up here that I have my eyes on, 2 of them actually that aren't hunted right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that'd be a good one.
Honestly, there's probably more than people think, because like, the thought processes go to like, they're not hunted for some sort of like
city parks, or
exactly,
something like that.
But there's
wildlife refuges.
Yeah, there's probably 5 times as many just individual owners that don't allow hunting.
A lot. Yeah, and you just have to know. That's where you have to know the neighborhood,
right?
But they can be. I mean, just the way that they position themselves and the way that they continue to like cycle. They become a breeding ground for age.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can continue every year. You can kill mature deer, and they're replaced because there's more to replace them.
Which is all you need. Maybe it's a pipe dream, but like, and I realize it'll never be Kansas or Illinois, but like, if I can find 50 acres that has a good portion of tillable ground that we can, a real pipe dream would be to find one with a house on it, right? That we can afford. Like, that probably just is, I mean, who knows? That would be kind of a miracle, but odds are we're gonna have to find the property
and then build
and build something there. And then, but if I could have a couple, like if I could get some 5-year-old bucks on there, like 1 or 2 5-year-old bucks per year kind of thing, and I could just have enough there to do my projects and keep me busy at home there, that'd be enough.
I mean, the thing for me, and there's probably a lot of people listening to this, and I'm not like making you think that you don't appreciate it, but just realize how valuable is, like, even within 30 minutes of here. Like, on a Saturday, if I could wake up and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go spend half a day up at the farm just doing stuff. I'm going to spray this, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to burn this, then I'll come home. And I'm not gone for 12 hours, dark to dark working, plus 4 hours on both ends driving, and I come home like a zombie. Like, the amount of productivity and the quality of that property just blows through the roof.
Yeah. It does.
And, so if you're listening to this and you have the ability to do that, and or walk out your back door and it's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm jealous.
Don't take it for granted.
I'm jealous.
We're jealous.
Dramatically jealous. Not that I'm not blessed about the properties that we have and we have access to. I mean, that's one of the cool parts about when I go to Ohio and stay at the camp, or when I go to Kentucky and stay in the cabin, is like, that's the only place I get to walk out and I'm like, here's my property.
One doesn't, replace the other necessarily. Like, I don't foresee myself giving up or having a desire to go to the Midwest, like to Kansas and Illinois. You're not ever going to get that experience.
No.
In Pennsylvania, more like, I mean, you could get some version of it, and the huge upside here is the proximity, the ability to work on the property and to get that satisfaction out of it. And there are some good deer, like some really good deer from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, the facts here, and it's not a guarantee, but if you have that ability to micromanage the property and do what you want, and just because we spend, again, people listening to this think this is all we do. I mean, whatever, 90% plus of our time is spent in this area of Pennsylvania in terms of our life. And so odds of us punching our buck tag in Pennsylvania, if we have that property, high
odds.
Right. So
right.
So once you do that, then what? Right. Well, then that's why you have the Midwest and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm looking at it almost as like
not a guarantee, but like high odds.
High odds.
It is 90% of our time through hunting. I want people to understand that 90% of the time during hunting season, you and I are in Western Pennsylvania.
Dude, I feel that way about in Ohio. I haven't killed a buck in Ohio in a couple of years because we have spent so much time in the Midwest and other places. But every time I'm there, I think to myself, I'm like if I lived here, I would kill.
So I was going to ask
every
you
year.
just with this conversation, not that you're not going to hunt Ohio necessarily, but like, are because of responsibilities here and stuff, are you starting to feel more like that Ohio farm is a little bit more distant for you? Like,
what do you mean responsibilities here?
Well, just because you're in Western PA, you're working all the time. Like you have jobs, you have Margie's here, you've got things to do. Like to what I'm saying about Ohio, maybe not as bad, but like
I don't.
Ohio feels like a reach for me, right? Because it's just I don't get there.
It doesn't really feel that way for me.
I would assume it's because you don't hunt Pennsylvania though, and you don't have a farm in Pennsylvania.
Probably.
I would say if you had that farm in Pennsylvania, you wouldn't get to Ohio nearly as much.
I don't know. It also helps to have Dad there.
Sure.
It's like I can set him on projects and things can get done.
Right.
So it doesn't feel that far away. It's also only like an hour and a half. Like, so I can jet
very
over
doable.
I can jet over there, no problem.
Yeah, super doable. Okay. Yeah, I wondered if you just to the point of like not killing a buck there and stuff, if that you just started to feel more distant to the farm.
No, not really. Just I understand it very clearly, for what it is.
What it is.
It doesn't mean I have answers to everything. Like there's constantly.
Doesn't mean you're satisfied with it either.
No, in a lot of ways, I'm dissatisfied with it. I'd like to see some things change, and they may, at some point. But it is what it is, So I can only control what I can control, and so they're kind of they're separate. It's not like. It's not one because of the other. Like this Pennsylvania move for us is like, dude, we live at the end of a cul-de-sac right now. Which nice house. It's like Margie and I's first house that we've owned, but no acreage, no opportunity to do anything. Like, it was 3/4 of an acre, but it's nothing.
No,
it's nothing. So I long for the ability to like walk out my door, walk to my tractor, in the pole building, and go out and just work on a plot that night or plant a screen that day or. And to have some sort of fruit come from that, some sort, hunting opportunity. I wouldn't do it if it weren't for that, frankly.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. No, I think that's
it's not gonna replace. It certainly won't replace the Midwest because the quality's just, they're distant from each other. And I don't think it'll replace Ohio necessarily. Just it is what it is. They'll probably be similar in See, but dude, and as much as we talk about the downfalls of Ohio, like there still is opportunity there that it's like it's.
Yeah, I mean the quality of the soil and the genetics are probably better than in what we have here. Doesn't mean you can't see an outlier 170-inch buck in Western Pennsylvania. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, well, and just the amount of acreage. It just gives you options to be able to like.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a farm.
It's a farm.
Like, not in a bad way, but like you visit 50 acres after being on a 1,000-acre farm, and it's like, where do I go?
I know.
I know. It's like there's a line right there.
Exactly.
So yeah, it just feels different.
Yeah. So there's something about a large acreage farm that just gives you, there's a sense of freedom to that. I can go over that ridge. I can, make a play here. It's overwhelming in some ways too, because it's like, man, I'm one guy and I live 2 hours away. I can't possibly manage the whole thing to its fullest. So maybe that's what Pennsylvania can do for me. And then, it'll change my perspective in some way, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I look at, and again, it's, I'm picking on them, but I look at whether it's Skip or Brackett or whoever, it's like, dude, these guys are like fine-tooth combing their proproperties right behind the house.
Oh, and I would be too, man.
Me too. Yeah, and it's just, it frustrates me sometimes. Mine would be better
than both of theirs. I'll tell you that.
It frustrates them sometimes because I get there and I'm like, okay, I have 2 hours before dark. I'm going to stay over. I've got all day tomorrow, and then I'm driving home. And it's like, here's my plan. Half of it gets done, and then I got to leave. And I'm like, I don't know. It might be weeks before I get back. And it's just like obviously you can still hunt the property, and there'll still be deer there and stuff. But like, you just can't ever get it to that next level because you don't have the time to do it. So, yeah. So I think that, in a nutshell, as we kind of like leave 25's season, 26 season, and we look towards 26, 27 season, it's like, much like our HHA sites, I'm looking at simplicity, right? And streamlining things. Dads and everybody in Illinois. Obviously, we'll probably hunt Illinois when they're not there, and then there'll be a deer trip that we're all there, right? And,
Well, and for me on that end, it is we don't have the ability to do it right now. We need to find another place if we're going to pull that off.
Correct. Yes.
So that's whether that'll happen this year or not. I don't.
Yeah.
It definitely won't if we don't start the process of kind of looking and trying to make some things happen here. But
yeah,
I like the whole direction. I like you shifting. Yeah, I think you shifting into what you're doing here in Pennsylvania makes a lot of sense.
Well, it makes more sense just with the kids' age. Like they're 10 and 13, they're in sports, so whatever. Like every Saturday for the foreseeable future, I've got soccer. I was like, well, I'm not, there's only so much I can do on that. And, even during the hunting season, it's like cross country. I can't get them out of school, or it's soccer, or it's track, or whatever it is, baseball, basketball. Like there's only so many things you can get them doing. So like if we have that farm here and we treat the backyard kind of like that now, it's like they get them from school, we go out and hunt. And they've been successful doing that. But there's really very limited projects that I can do to make that any better than we are right now.
Right.
And so like the opportunity to have that, to have more of a farm, to be able to go out, even like we were just talking about earlier, like right now they're like, they want to go run a trap line. And it's like, I could run a few sets behind the house, but
it's another big one.
Yeah. Like if I have a piece of property and I can just go out and run sets, and it's like, yeah, just shoot up to the farm, have 4-wheelers there, jump out, buzz around, check the traps, come home. Yeah, do it all before they go to school.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes me pretty grateful in hindsight for like what I grew up next to, which was we lived in you can call it a cul-de-sac, but it was it was a development of sorts.
I think I drove by your house one time. I don't remember why.
Did you?
If we drove by it for like, I'll show you where I grew up or something.
Maybe we drove past it together. So, and it was bigger than what we have now. It was like, 3.5 acres. And the houses were far apart and stuff.
Yep.
But we butted up to, I don't even know what it was. It was a big chunk of ground.
Yeah.
And I had permission to hunt back there along with a couple other guys and neighbors and stuff.
That's how it was.
It was a dream, man, to be able to it connected to the back of our property, and I could take my dirt bike back there. I could walk back there. We could trap the whole thing. I hunted the whole thing. Like it was right there.
I know, man. That's how it was. I would go to my grandma's house, park at the house, walk up over the hill, and then my dad's best man owned 65-acre farm right there, and that's just how I grew up hunting. I could go anywhere. Yeah, and it's just not like that anymore, and we won't ever be back to that type of lifestyle. So unfortunately, you've got to kind of secure it yourself, or again, like I think that we have here in Pennsylvania is like, dude, there's some amazing public land hunting around here. Like there's places on the mountain that, like, besides the fact that I could run into somebody else or I can't plant a food plot or something, it's like, dude, I'm hunting as big a bucks there as I am in any other farm that I have. So it's like, yeah, it's different, and it takes work and it takes time to find those deer and find those spots, but you at least have places to go. And unlike it was even 15, 20 years ago, it's like, dude, rarely do I pull into a place and somebody else pulls in behind me. Like, I usually don't see anybody when I'm hunting some of these places.
Yeah.
So, that definitely makes it feel different in this state versus as you go to the Midwest. Boy, it just feels like everything is hunted. Every square inch, every turn, every pocket, every parking lot, it just feels hunted. And I don't have that feeling in Pennsylvania yet. I used to. Frankly, when we were killing 1.5-year-olds, I did pull into a parking lot. There's 15 trucks here ready to drive out these woods. I'm like, holy shit. I got to get out ahead of them, Now, there's nobody. Like, I talked to a couple guys at the Archery and Bow Hunting Super Show, and they were like, I was like, man, like I don't even hear shots on opening day at gun season anymore. They're like a handful. I'm like, dude, I would literally count 150 before lunch.
I will say one thing that's like kind of nice, kind of refreshing. It just something I've noticed is like, it doesn't seem like guys in Pennsylvania are as hard up for big deer.
No,
and I mean it in a positive sense. Like when you go to the Midwest, like whatever it is, residents now, right? A lot of guys are like, yeah, I'm here. I want to shoot a giant. Kind of that's just like the mindset.
Yep.
And it's because they're known to be there.
Yep.
Most people that I know that are bow hunting in Pennsylvania, they're just like, it'd be great to get a buck. It'd be cool to get
and they're killing bigger ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're having opportunities at 3-4-year-old deer, maybe bigger, if they
It's crazy,
could dial
dude.
some things in. So it's almost like there's just the pressure is lower, and it's kind of
we just never have had it, man.
Kind of
That's why
refreshing.
I'm saying like it's the up and up. It's like these Midwest states talking about the good old days, right? Their good old days, we were killing the first 3-inch spike we saw, you know, and now people are killing. So I was at Toyota Greensburg. Shout out to Dan and Ryan at Toyota in Greensburg, buying a new Tundra for them. Ryan was like, "Yeah, here's the buck I killed here in Westmoreland County," and I'm like, "That's a toad, dude."
was it?
Yeah, it was probably, I don't know, 150-inch 10-point.
Dang,
I mean, but like,
it's awesome.
you know, clearly he was proud of it, as he should have been,
Yeah.
right? But like, also at the same time, I'm like, I'm seeing a lot of those deer being killed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Like, you know, 15 years ago, somebody showed me that, and I'm like, holy shit.
yeah, right.
Like, that is a freaking monster. Like,
Yeah.
that thing's got to compete for like state record type stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's like becoming a little bit more of the common, but I don't think that we're so hard up on it because like we just have gradually built to that level.
Yeah, we don't expect it. We're not entitled here.
Meanwhile, all of the Midwestern states are like, we were here and now we're here.
Yeah.
And so it's a weird
We were
inverse.
here always, and now we're like, here.
Yeah. Now it's like, yeah. And guys are killing 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old bucks every year, right? And they've graduated. They've started to see it to the point where it's they're okay passing 2 and 3-year-old bucks because there's a big 4 or 5-year-old buck and something like that. So yeah, it's a weird, it's for sure all tied to the culture. And again, indirectly probably, I don't know many states that are doing this. Pennsylvania is one of them, as long as they don't screw it up with this stupid gun season proposal. They're one of the few doing this. Most of them, this.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not easy, and there's still 700,000 deer hunters here, more than basically any other state except for Texas, I think.
Yep.
But it's one buck. There's no baiting. There's a lot of public land, and it's a short gun season, usually starting right around December 1st.
Yep.
That seems to be a recipe to get these deer to older age classes, and also, and no offense to them, back in the day, guys like my dad, when they were my age, dude, every nook and cranny got driven out. Like a buck could be living under a rock, they'd flip the rock and kick his ass out on a drive.
Yeah.
Now, some of these mountain places where I'm seeing 6, 7, 8-year-old bucks, there ain't nobody going up in there.
No.
They're all soft. They'll look at that hill and say, no thanks.
Can't carry my crossbow up that.
They won't do it, dude. That's why when I go up in there, I'm like, and it's not easy, but you get up in there and there's nobody up there, and that's where those big bucks leave because they're like, nobody comes up here.
Yep.
So it's just, there's a lot of those kind of changes that have happened that are playing to the hand of Pennsylvania deer hunters, especially if you're a hard deer hunter and you're determined to kill a big buck. I think you can do it now. Whereas all these other states, man, you got so many challenges hanging over your head. I just don't know how much longer you can sustain it before it's like something's got to give.
Agreed.
So, anyways, what a way to start Farm Companion, right?
Farm Companion.
We're just laying it out
2026.
there. Here it is. Here's the plan. Follow along. See how it changes.
Yep. So there's the second partner. We slipped that in on you. So it was HHA
And Genesis.
And Genesis. I'm really excited about the Genesis partnership this year.
Couple more coming too.
So, and for the foreseeable future, we will be running those drills. And, so I'm expecting our planting game to be next level this year.
It'll be on point. So, anyways, we appreciate everybody listening to the first Farm Companion of the new year. We're excited to share the rest of the year with you, follow our journey, talking about stuff. And if you got anything, message us on Instagram so we can follow you. And we'll catch you next Sunday.
Farm Companion.
Take me